Hey guys, and welcome to a video where I explain and show you guys how Ahmad is one of, if not the fastest player in Rocket League right now. I'm going to be going over one of his replays and hopefully give you guys some useful tips to apply in your game and become faster in Rocket League. Enjoy. Alright, so let's get into the game here. I actually have Ahmad on a Dominus, which I've not seen before, or not too many times anyway. He's usually on Octane or Fennec. Switches between the two. But yeah, we're going to be looking at obviously how Ahmad is one of the fastest players in Rocket League right now, and how he does that. You'll see he keeps a lot of his momentum in his car throughout the whole pitch, and look, he's kind of just not letting go of Supersonic, and you'll see he anticipates the play really well. So this play is a decent example. We'll be able to get better examples, but this one's a pretty good one to start off with. So he knows his teammate might pass it across the pitch, and look how fast he turns for it. He's already there. So that's one of the ways, you know, he keeps his momentum and he keeps anticipating what the play is going to be next. So it allows him to be proactive instead of reactive, which is a big factor when you want to be fast. That's going to be an open net off a missed touch. But yeah, you'll also notice recoveries are one of the biggest things when trying to play faster in Rocket League. And Ahmad definitely has some great recoveries. He also just has confidence. You'll see him, you know, when you have confidence, you can do whatever you want because you're confident in yourself, right? Like, you're not going to be second guessing yourself. And Ahmad just doesn't seem to second guess himself like this. He's pre-jumped because, you know, he's anticipating the play. He knows that Jake will probably go in the air, so he pre-jumps because why not? And people think this is a ball chaser play, or, you know, the classic I like to hear often is that this would never work in pro play or something. But like, I mean, why wouldn't it? Because if the opponent is always going to go to the air like Jake is right now, then, you know, it's good to get up early like Ahmad does, and it's just anticipating the next play, and he does it pretty perfectly here. Forces the ball over him, and his teammate should be able to get a free ball here like he does. So he's not scared to kind of play a little bit different. That is a missed turn there, perhaps going a little bit too fast. But I also think that he thought his teammate was going to get a block, so a bit of a mistake. But, you know, he was trying to go fast. But yeah, we're seeing some good anticipation skills. I don't think that's the right term. Oh, gone. Oh, but we'll go with that, anticipation skills. But yeah, constantly looking out for how fast he's going. I kind of want to see what he does here. He's forcing Toxic to go to the side. If you look, he's blocking the goal, and Ahmad is not just all mechanics. He's a smart player as well. I mean, I think a lot of players underestimate how smart mechanical players actually are. Just because they have good mechanics doesn't mean that they don't have a good brain as well. Rocket League isn't a game where you're just good at one thing. A lot of people like confuse it that if a player's good in offense, they're automatically terrible in defense, and vice versa. And it's just not the case. You know, like, often on teams, the best attacking player is also the best defensive player, you'll find. So yeah, we can see that here. Ahmad forces him into the corner because he knows it's safe here. It's not risky because the opponents can't really move anywhere dangerous. That's a good pass from Ahmad's teammate. That's interesting. That's a sick shot. You know, so this might just look like, you know, almost pointless, but if we look at it from the goalkeeper's point of view, also look how much power he got on this, but look how confusing this is from a goalkeeper's point of view. He thought he was going to pass this. You see this little wiggle right here? He thought this was going to go to Ahmad's teammate, and he was cutting across the field to intercept that early. And then obviously Ahmad arrows last second and gets a lot of power on the ball, which the goalkeeper wasn't expecting it. You know, goes straight over him. So that's a example of Ahmad's kind of unpredictability, and that's another thing that he's almost so good at, is like, he kind of, you know, does whatever he wants to. And it's a bit sometimes a bit weird to play against, but it's credit to him. I bet he's going to pre-jump it. Oh, his teammate pre-jumps instead. Another Middle Eastern player, his teammate is. Let's see if they're queued up together. Yeah, they are partied up together. I know Middle Eastern players also like to party up together in comms, so, you know, perhaps they've got that on their side. I like to point out how much boost Ahmad keeps throughout the play, all time, just because he's going fast. You'll find actually Ahmad rotates quite deep because he's going so fast a lot of the time. He's forced to rotate very deep in the pitch and in his rotations, so he'll always be constantly picking up these back boosts. I assume that's what I've seen. I could be wrong with that, but that's from my limited time of watching players. That's what I've seen. But yeah, he keeps his boost quite well and manages it very well, considering how much he goes for and how much you think he uses boost because he goes for a lot of balls, but because he's keeping his momentum so well, and he's always able to go supersonic at any moment he wants to. Look at that. That's good mechanics right there. But let me pause this whilst I explain this. But because he's able to almost go supersonic whenever he wants to, because he's keeping that speed, that top speed, or just under the top speed, then he doesn't really have to use much boost when going for aerials or going for balls, you know, because if you've got momentum, then you obviously don't need to speed up, and boost is used to speed up. So that's probably one of the best tips I can give you guys, is don't be afraid to, you know, go fast, because it's not like you're going to run out of boost if you do it correctly. It almost saves boost, because if you're going at a perfect speed, which, you know, technically a perfect speed is I do think Rocket League will get to a stage where all these players will be going, you know, almost close to supersonic around the pitch. But like, obviously there'll be a few scenarios where you can't do that, but it's just more efficient for boost management because you just don't have to use as much boost when moving around. And we can't see it with Ahmad. And he does fake challenge a lot. People kind of think that ball chasers, or, you know, he's not like, I like to use the term ball chaser in a positive way sometimes, or a lot of time. It just means like an aggressive player. That's what it's kind of come to mean nowadays. But yeah, like aggressive players, people think they just kind of go for everything, but Ahmad's, you know, he's fair challenging and making good opportunities for himself. But he's constantly putting the opponents under pressure, and that's what you do when you're going fast. Your opponents automatically have to speed up. If we look at this from this guy's point of view over here, look how fast he has to go, because he has to match Ahmad's speed. Look, we haven't seen this guy drop below supersonic for about 30 seconds because Ahmad is in the lobby. He kind of dictates the speed, and it might force players out of their comfort zone, and it might also do the opposite. Players might like it, but, you know, it's a strange thing that happens. You always see it, everyone kind of matches the speed of him, or attempts to, and then because he does it more than them, he's probably better at it. But yeah, like I said, constantly going at a speed where he can go supersonic at any moment he wants to. Just constantly taking their boost. That's one thing he does well, actually. Because he keeps momentum, he can always just take their boost. Look, he's supersonic straight away, goes for the boost. He's done his play. He's gotten the ball out, so he's rotating back here, trying to help out. He sees the back boost, so he's gonna slightly cut rotation. So obviously the best rotation here is to go back post around his teammate, because now his teammate is backwards. If you look at this, his teammate was forward facing here because he wanted to go for this ball. Ahmad cut him off, so he has to face backwards. But this is a good play from Ahmad because the boost was there, and if Ahmad rotated around his teammate, then he wouldn't have gotten that 100 boost. So it's kind of a sacrifice that is a good one. He kind of forces his teammate into a bit of an awkward position, but it's fine as long as Ahmad does his job, and he does his job perfectly here. He gets the ball over one guy, or he forces a bad touch out of him, and look, he's left the play. He's done his job. He goes for the boost. He now forces Jake into an awkward position. He's 50 boost, and he's about to land pretty badly on the wall, and he's done his job. He's kind of left the play and just gone for the boost, and that's been, like, he's allowed to do that because he's constantly going fast. He doesn't have to worry about landing, trying to pick up speed and go for the boost. Or he's been beaten to the boost. Now he's got 12 boosts. He's trying to get back to the net as fast as possible to defend or counter attack. Like, he doesn't have to worry about that because he's always going fast. If he gets beaten to the boost, then it's not a problem. He just turns his supersonic anyway, right? So we see him on low boost here, but he manages to keep his momentum pretty well, I feel like. this little turn, he kind of backs up, he kind of reverses, and he's keeping his momentum throughout. It's not like he's not trying to force his car in an opposite way of the direction the momentum is going. And his teammate does a pretty good play there, so that's well played. This is very small. It didn't make a difference, I'm going to be honest, but it's just an example of how his brain works. Really, he's instantly reversing here because his car has landed in a way that it will benefit him if he reverses, because it's landed backwards with backwards momentum. Then if he tries to drive forward, he has to kill the backwards momentum before the forward momentum pushes his car forward, if that makes sense. He doesn't want to do that. He just reverses, he keeps his momentum, and now he can like kind of drift and turn into place. And that's you know, that's just recoveries. And if you guys want to play faster, which I kind of assume, oh, look at that. Oh, that was a cool shot. I'm not gonna lie, look at that. Cinematics, jeez. I assume you guys want to play faster if you're watching this video, or maybe you're just a fan of Ahmad, but either is fine. But yeah, one of the biggest tips you can give for recoveries is always try and go in the direction that your car is wanting you to go in. So if you land on the wall facing forwards, you want to drive forwards. You don't want to kill your momentum and start driving backwards, do you? That's gonna be 3-1. I think that's game actually. Alright, so on screen here we've actually got a bar graph with seconds with 0 boost that these players have in this lobby, and Ahmad is the one with 28.65 seconds with 0 boost, so we can see he's actually the lowest in the lobby, and that kind of proves the point that it could be better, that going fast could be better for boost management, because if he's constantly going at a high speed, or if he's constantly going supersonic like I've previously said a few times in this video, then he doesn't have to use as much boost, which means he's going to be spending less time on 0 boost, because he can constantly use his momentum and use his speed that he's been gaining throughout the whole game to just negate the fact that he has to use any boost, and he constantly picks up boost. And then we look at the opposite. We've got Jake here with 48 seconds on 0 boost, and that could be, you know, could be a few things. It could be him trying to adjust to Ahmad's speed and not being able to do that, him being boosted by Ahmad because Ahmad's constantly been able to keep up his momentum and just keep stealing the opponent's boost over and over again. Or it could just simply be the fact that he's just, you know, he's using more boost because he's going slower, so he has to use boost to pick up that speed. So it's quite interesting, this graph. Alright, so lastly I'm going to show you the power slide count for the lobby, which I thought is quite interesting. I could have this completely wrong, I don't claim that this is right, but this is what I think. I mean, Ahmad, we can see he's got the lowest power slide count in the entire lobby, and it's not by much, so you know, I wouldn't take this one for a fact, but it could be true that because he's power sliding less, you know, power slide cuts off your speed, so he's kind of more fluid than his opponents and his teammate in this lobby, so he doesn't have to power slide, he doesn't have to stop as much, he constantly moving in between and that, and he's obviously keeping his momentum and being able to keep at that high speed because of that. If he was power sliding a lot of time, he'd constantly be losing speed. So this could be a thing that you guys could do to increase your speed in game, is try not to power slide as much. Obviously there's some scenarios that it actually does help, and I think a lot of his power slides will be from recoveries, which could be an interesting thing to look at. It kind of proves that he's not power sliding during the actual gameplay and just for the recoveries, which is an important thing to keep up your speed. So this one could be a little bit misleading, but I found this and I wanted to talk about it a little bit, so it could be interesting to try out in your own games and see if it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned something from that replay analysis. I'm thinking of analysing more pros, so let me know in the comments if you want me to do that and which players you'd love to see on here. Anyway, feel free to consider leaving a like, comment and subscribe. It shows your support and greatly helps me out with the channel. I upload every day, so I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.